Alright guys, welcome back to Starforged, the adventures of the Zebulon Harding, the misadventures of the Zebulon Harding. I should feel like I should subtitle this, Envision Your Peril, because that's usually where we leave stuff is envisioning peril. So, alright, when we last left, personal update, we were hoping for a strong hit on the face danger with regards to the COVID quarantine that we're in, since my youngest kid has got COVID. We got a mixed success. My wife and I are still negative. Great. My son, middle kid, is positive, but he is asymptomatic. So bad news, good news. But it also means that he goes into a 10 or 14-day quarantine, and it resets the timer for all of us. And my oldest still can't come home. She's over at her mom's because we're separate from this. So definite mixed success. Take a hit to spirit. So anyway, quarantine. More time to play. Bonus. When we last left the Zebulon Harding, we had just slipped away from JVC. Let me see if we can zoom in here a little bit so we can see this a little bit more closely. We had just slipped away from JVC. We had, let us say, we had failed somewhat to establish the proactive partnership that we had really hoped would happen when we got to JVC, or even get a lot of answers. We did get a few. We got some answers. We got at least some information. Some of those answers sort of just raised more questions. Isn't that always the way? But at least we found out some stuff and gave us some places that we needed to go next. We've got coordinates that we can use to try to investigate what happened to the Zebulon Harding, sort of the last known coordinates where we were supposed to be going, where we might have encountered, where the ship might have encountered the people from the Meridian Station, all that kind of stuff. So we slipped away from JVC. We did our first skip into jump space to get further away, and we got a mixed success, which resulted in how was the prompt for that worded? It'd be nice if this character sheet started up where we're at. On a weak hit, face peril at the waypoint. Envision what you encounter. Envision what you encounter. Cool. So I hit the Oracle to find out what we are envisioning, and I got life support system malfunctions, which is kind of cool, actually. I like that. I like the idea of some sort of inborn ship stuff, partly because it raises questions. So what I'm thinking here is the Zebulon comes out of first warp. It's been a couple of hours since we jumped away. I'm pretty sure, let's just look at the rulebook here real quick. What I keep saying while we're doing the game here is that I keep mentioning I need to check and see how long well, first how long the trips are meant to take, but how long each individual jump is meant to take. It's a series of jumps, right? The depiction of interstellar travel in Starforged is tied to the gameplay of the exploration move. These moves help frame. You could ignore setting details described below, or envision interstellar flight however you like. However, it works best if you use a somewhat similar approach with faster than light travel undertaken in a series of individual segments. Think of your starship as a stone skipping across a vast galactic pond. Eidolon drives, drifts and drifts are the network of Eidolon paths through the forge. Plotted course is a passage. Beyond the settled regions, potential passages are usually uncharted, unexplored. Worse yet, some say Eidolon travel weakens the fragile bonds of reality. Anyway, an E-drive can stay powered for a few hours at most and requires several hours to energize. Thus, long voyages are made in a series of FTL transits. Each segment of the journey ends at a waypoint, what is called an anchorage. Since powerful gravity wells are an ideal navigational target, anchorages are often near a large object such as a star or a planet. And they have this little bit of idea here what it would look like. Okay, so that tells me a little bit. So we're in jump for a couple of hours. We had time to kind of spread out, sort of take our bearings. Asana probably heads off and grabs a room and says she's going to clean up and, use a sonic shower. And honestly, Earl's feeling kind of that same way too. So while we're in jump, we, sort of see to our own personal needs. I check in a little bit with Zeb, but he's not really talking much. I'm not really talking a lot. We've got a lot of questions about our own personal crap that's going on. The whole thing at JVC, the Jeffries Vega Collective, raised a lot of questions really about what the hell was going on. Did Zeb, the AI of the ship, betray the crew? How the hell did I get on? Was I actually working for Meridian? If so, why are they trying to capture me or blow me up or shoot me? That doesn't seem to unless they're trying to erase the evidence. there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of things on my mind. While we're in the middle of this jump, which is fine. So yeah, couple of those shots of staring in a mirror after getting out of the sonic shower, all that kind of stuff. One of the things I forgot to do last time was advance Asana's relationship, leveraging their help in desperate circumstances. I definitely made use of that to get off of JVC. So while we're just about to come out of orbit, maybe we find ourselves both in the mess. And you know, I'm working up some, maybe I'm doing some coffee, and I offer her some, and she sort of takes it, and I'll be like, you know, thank you for everything, helping get off the planet there. You got some real skills. I'm not sure if I would have been able to pull that off otherwise. She kind of shrugs. It's like, whatever. It's not like I was really helping you as much as just helping myself. Well, you may think so, but I still appreciate it. Maybe you were just helping yourself, but luckily I was standing close enough to benefit from it, so thank you. She's like, yeah, it's all right. I'm not used to working with people, but you and Zeb aren't the worst people I've ever worked with. Ooh, high praise. We're not the worst. It's fantastic. I feel really good about it. Cause she's like, don't make it weird. So I was gonna make it weird. How did you get to know Paladin? Oh, I don't know. I've just done some things for him. Are you part of his whole anti-corporate shtick? I don't know. Not yes and no. I sit down and just kind of raise my eyebrow and just inviting more. She kind of sighs and is like, well, face up here so we can see. She's like, well, yeah, I tend to work against the corporations a lot, but it's not so much a political thing as that's where the money is. So, you know, I get in, get valuable things out, whether it's information, tech, old remnant, you know, weird synthetics that they found on some relic site, some precursor thing. So yeah, I tend to work against them, and I just do it because that's where the best benefits are. Paladin does it because he wants them to come crashing down. I think they're just going to be replaced with something else. Money's like water. It has to pool somewhere, right? And it's usually the lowest points in humanity where it pools, not in terms of people, the way they are, not the highest pools, so at the highest spots. So generally speaking, money's going to gather, and it's going to gather with the worst people. So I take it away from them. If you take the money, doesn't that make you the worst people? Oh no. I'm a little girl carrying the bucket up the hill, redistributing it to the village. Does that sound noble enough? Maybe. I like it. I like the idea. Maybe we can build a pump and a pipe and some stuff. I like to fix problems by, you know, getting some kind of machine getting in there and helping things out. Oh. So you're a tech. How did you get to know Paladin? Dumb luck. I found him on a abandoned ship in the middle of nowhere. Brought him back to civilization, sort of. And he was grateful. He was grateful to give you a bunch of impossible things to do out in the middle of unknown space. I think you and I both know Paladin says thanks in unusual ways. That's fair enough. Okay, sharing a profound moment. I think so. I think I'm going to give myself an advance for sharing a profound moment because I really like this scene. I like what it says about Asana. I just like what it says about Asana. I like what it says about Earl. I feel like we actually have a connection that's a little bit more than just completely pointless. So I'm a fan. I'm gonna do that one up. And anyway, about that point in time, the ship comes out of jump, and you know, Zeb will pop in over the comms and say, "Attention, we are about to exit Eidolon Drift. We are about to exit Eidolon Drift into normal space and begin recharge." And the ship, we feel it kind of do that sort of back into regular space. And when it does, all the lights, I'm thinking of the scene from The Matrix where all the lights go, like there's a rumble in the building, and then the lights go out, and then the fire suppressant system kicks on. Not like that, but we come out, and the lights all go completely black, and there's time for me to go, what? And then the emergency lighting comes up. Zeb, what the hell happened? Our life support system appears to have gone offline, Earl. Okay. All right. So we've got a great big can full of ALL air that's going stale. What? Do we have any idea what caused it and how much time? Okay. Do we have any idea what caused it that I can go and take a look at? And do we know how much air we've got before things are going to start getting difficult? Oh, I wouldn't worry about the air, Earl. That shouldn't be a problem whatsoever. And I could probably figure out the cubic air on the ship if I really wanted to. But let's take a look at the Zebulon Harding for a minute, if you don't mind. The lower deck of the Zebulon Harding, is this the mid floor? Yeah. The lower deck of the Zebulon Harding over here on your left is how should I put this technically speaking? Fucking enormous. And it's mostly cargo bay, it's mostly open space. So that right there, aside from anything else, is a huge amount of, air. And then the second floor up here is even more stuff. Is there a third floor? I feel like there's another layer. Oh yeah, and then we have another sort of half deck up at the very top that's like the cockpit, all that kind of good stuff. Weapon systems, basically all the actual fly the ship stuff. That's where we're probably hanging out at right now. So air, I really wouldn't worry about air, Earl. The ship is quite large, and we have been keeping the atmosphere fully stocked throughout the ship, so that shouldn't be a problem. I said, oh, well, you've got at least 6 or 7 days worth of air before we'd ever have to worry about something like that. Oh, and Asana says, wait for it. Yes, you'll freeze to death long before you run out of air, Earl. The ship's life support will having failed, will keep the ship from heating. You'll freeze to death long before you run out of it. Oh, great. So we should probably fix this. Yes, that would be a great idea. All right, so great. We have peril to deal with here. We have a life support system. Looking at the main room here. Crew quarters, meeting room, life pod access, common room, gym, airlock, mess, storage, reactor room. That looks like someplace I might want to go. Engineering, hyperdrive. So the central deck seems like where a lot of the guts of med bay, shield generator, life support. Okay, gotcha. Life support. Ooh, life support. Even more appropriate. All right, let me go down there and see if I can figure out what the hell's going on. And we will sort it out from there. All right, so let's take a look at Earl. I figure we've got some kind of deal. Where the hell are we, by the way? And while I'm heading down there, I'm just asking that. And we'll throw out a stellar object. Space sighting. We'll just throw out a space sighting first, which is out in the outlands. And it is a stellar object. Cool. What's our stellar object? Young star incubating in a molecular cloud. It's a new star. No significant planetary bodies as the system is still essentially forming. Interesting. All right, well, keep me apprised if anything else happens out there, and I'm going to poke around back in the life support and see if we can get this thing rolling while the ship's recharging. All right, Earl, thank you. Oh, thank you. You don't really have to worry about life support, do you, Earl? Or do you, Zeb? No, Earl, but I would be very distraught if my crew were imperiled. And he seems to, really lay into that, really want to say that really strongly. Really emphasize that, because I think he's probably feeling some questions about his willingness to protect his crew and that kind of stuff. Secure an advantage. Do I want to gather information or secure an advantage? Now here's the thing. My momentum is at a +10 already, so gathering information does no good mechanically speaking. I mean, narratively it might do something, but I'm not sure if I really need to worry about most of this stuff. I think I just need to get down in here and see if I can get it back on. So when you attempt something risky or react to an imminent threat, envision your action and roll. If you're going with speed, no. Resolve, command, no. Expertise, focus, and observation. So it's a wits roll. Cool. And I'm going to be repairing the ship. And I wonder, when you gather information or resupply by scavenging, no. When you make a move to craft, repair, repurpose, repair, or modify equipment or technology, add +1, take +1. Okay, I will definitely go with that. When you make a move to craft, repair, repurpose, or modify equipment or technology, add +1 and take +1 momentum on a hit. I'm going to try and fix it, and then if maybe I can gather some information and find out what the heck's going on there. And keeping in mind, I still have Fugitive here, which lets me, when you make a move, you can rely on your resourcefulness to improve the result to a strong hit. If you do, mark a box above to represent hunters closing in on you, which I may use, but I'm not going to use right now. So, all right, let's take a look and see how I can fix things with Gearhead. So I'm rolling wits on my face danger, taking a +1 and getting a weak hit. That there's nothing I can do about that weak hit to do anything other than get it up. I cannot get it to a strong hit, even with 10 momentum, because fuck, I challenge dice. All right. Yeah, 5 against a 3 and a 10. There isn't a lot I can do about that, but that's fine. When you attempt something, okay, so on a weak hit, you succeed, but at a troublesome cost, make a suffer move. Damn it. All right, shoot. I do not want to take any more supply. Make a suffer move. Damn it. I really need to resupply. I'm constantly dealing with this. Resupply if I can find some place to scavenge. Barter or make a fuel roll hard. All right, man. All right. I can craft. All right, fine. All right, so we're gonna Suffer move. Can do losing momentum, which feels a little cheesy, but suffer -1 momentum for a minor setback. Withstand damage? If you're in, okay, I think I might do this. If your integrity, okay, when your vehicle faces a damaging situation, suffer -1 integrity for minor damage. If your integrity, okay, a strong hit, or you choose to resist the damage roll plus integrity. Strong hit, choose 1. Bypass the damage. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is when I get down in here, the life support is a bit of a wreck. And I realize that it's a bit of a variation on the stuff that Meridian did to our jump drive, except not quite as critical. They just wanted that. Maybe they were trying to catch us or hamper us or give us time and say, okay, well, we're going to have to move on this one because there's a bunch of systems that have been slagged. So I'm basically jury rigging and pulling in workable circuit boards from all over the place to patch things up. But there's still a fair amount of, like, I'm going to call it electronic and systems damage, hardware-wise, like boards and that kind of thing that have been melted to slag that we need to get out of there and replace. In some cases, like, it's not an insertable blade or something like that, but it's actually like the core breadboard or something like that that's just jacked. So it is a hot mess, and when it's all said and done, life support is basically working, but the system itself isn't great, and he's reporting a 20% reduction in just functionality across the board just because of the other stuff I had to do. I said, yeah, I'm going to work on that. I'm going to start crafting some things and see if I can get this thing done. So we're going to try, and you just keep charging. We need to not be delayed by this. So when we're ready to go, we're going to go. But in the meantime, I'm going to work on this thing. Okay. So we're going to get back into the move is withstand damage. I'm going to resist it, but I'm going to be rolling plus integrity. But I have a asset that here when you make a move to repair, craft, repurpose, or modify equipment or technology, add +1, take +1 momentum on the hit. And I am still going to do this. I'm still going to take this +1 on the roll for withstand damage because I am repairing. So I'm going to roll this. Vehicle integrity is a 3. I get a +1 modifier. Ooh, I got a 10. That's great. Strong hit against 4. It's a 10 against a 4 and a 1, which is awesome. A strong hit, choose 1. Bypass the damage. Your vehicle's not battered. Take +1 integrity. Ride it out. Take +1 momentum. Cool. So I managed, like, first of all, I get the life support working, which is great. The heat starts to come back on. Stop seeing my breath, which is cool. And then I start, okay, now I'm going to patch further. I actually get some other stuff and see if we can't get systems back up and working. And I said, okay, how are we doing now? How are we doing now, Zeb? How are we doing now, Zeb? We are back up to 80% functionality, which is probably as good as we can get until we get into a proper dry dock. I might be able to patch up. I'm going to need some more supplies before I do anything more like that, though. Or maybe not. Let's find out. All right. I'll tell you what. Let's get this thing in. Are we ready to jump? Because if we're ready to jump, we need to go. We are ready to re-enter an Eidolon Drift. Fan-freaking-tastic. Let's do that. And once we're going again, I'm going to see if I can't do a little bit more with some of the random scrap that we've got down here and get some scrap. I want to see if any of this stuff is salvageable that we've had to pull out of your guts. Thank you for wording it that way, Earl. It makes me feel like a person. All right, that's disturbing. So we're just gonna wander away from that one. All right, so we're back on the thing, and we are going to undertake an expedition again. We're definitely not exploring that last waypoint. When you trailblaze a route through perilous space, I am going to be moving with wits. Stay vigilant. We're just going to try to do this as carefully as we can. So we're going to roll and stay vigilant. No modifiers. And that frickin' unbeatable 10 pops up again for a weak hit. Man, we cannot get a thing. So, all right. So undertake an expedition on a weak hit. As above, you reach the waypoint, mark progress, envision your location. But you also have to make a suffer move or 2 suffer moves. Face parallel at the waypoint. Envision what you encounter. Okay. All right. Suffer costs en route. Make a suffer move -2. Cool. All right. I actually have an idea for this one. But first of all, we're going to go back over here into our progress. And we are going to wait. I already made the first jump to JVC. That counted, and then this one. So that's because I made 2 jumps, and they both were weak hits, but that still gives us progress. We just have to get to where we're going. So, Earl again before. we go into jump, and I'm still working on stuff because I'm planning on doing like a repair type of situation. And instead of being able to do that, I was messing with stuff. And I'm going to say when we go into jump, some sort of unforeseen backwash power surge through this jury rig stuff that I had working on, like jumped a little bit. So as we were about to go into jump, I'm like, yeah, let's hit it. I should be fine. And I take about a step back, and that is not nearly far enough. Something goes. It's not. It's something that's meant to go, but I was standing way too close, and I end up taking a shock, and I get knocked flat on my ass. And I'm going to actually take a 2 health hit as I get knocked flat on my tuchus and basically knocked cold. So I am definitely not going to be doing any repair actions during this next part of the jump because I am basically I come to. Do we even have like a? Let's find out. I'm not even sure if we have a med bay or anything like that. Yeah, we do. Look at this little med bay. I come to in the med bay, but I'm on the floor of the med bay because Asana got me here, and she basically just drugged me, like from life support down here. She drugged me like into the shield generator area, down the hallway, into med bay. And that's as good as it's going to get. Like the situation is not getting better than that. She's a little thing. She's not going to get me up on top of the other. That's I don't know what you say. I'm going to heal any better on the floor of the med bay than I will at the floor of the life support, but whatever. She's dragging me along. So I come to, and I am actually going to probably going to do I'm going to do a suffer move for this to see if I can maybe recover a little bit of this. Man, these mixed successes on 10s. You roll really well, and you've got lots of momentum, and it doesn't matter. Suffer move, endure harm. -2 for serious harm. Oh, I got rocked. If you choose to resist harm, roll either health or iron, whichever is higher. In my case, it's health. On a strong hit, choose one, shake it off. If you're not wounded, take +1 health. Embrace the pain, take +1 momentum. So hopefully I can get something here. And I'm going to roll. I'm rolling with my health. I don't have any bonuses. And that sucks. Weak hit. All right. So looking at the math of this, I rolled an absolute minimum roll. The challenge dice were terrible, but I still ended up with a weak hit. So it was a 4 against a 2 and a 5. I can burn momentum. So if I take the weak hit, if I'm not wounded, I can take -1 momentum to get 1 health. Or I can burn all my momentum to also get 1 health. Why would you ever? All right, so I'm going to lose 1 momentum to take +1 health as I get myself kind of back on my feet a little bit. I am not going to worry about that much more than that. So, and yeah. How long was I out? She's like, well, we're almost done with the Eidolon skip. She goes, we're almost done recharging from the second jump. And I'm like, the second? Oh, okay. All right. Zeb, are you okay? It wasn't a problem. I was able to send one of my maintenance drones to reset the breaker that tripped due to the power surge, and I have adjusted the power distribution throughout my systems to prevent that power surge on the next jump. Fantastic! That's great news. Wish we'd realized it a little bit sooner. I do as well, Earl. It does not make me feel good when my crew is injured. Okay, Zeb is clearly a little shook about this whole revelation that he maybe went bad and did something with his crew or betrayed them because he was haggled. So, listen, Zeb, my friend, if anything happened, even kind of like what JVC said happened, you were compromised by attack software, okay? That wasn't you. And I don't necessarily believe that's what happened. Something feels off about this whole thing, okay? So just take it with a grain of salt for right now. Just don't beat yourself up too much about this until we know more about what's happened. I know you as well as I can in the last couple of weeks, and I trust you. You don't have to keep reassuring me. It's okay. Thank you, Earl. I appreciate that. Well, I appreciate you, Zeb. We're gonna get through this. All right, if you guys are done hugging, are we about ready to jump again? Says Asana. I'm like, okay. Yeah, sure. Zeb, status? 96% recharged and ready to enter Eidolon Drift. We should be within range of Glimmer and entering those coordinates now. Fan-freaking-tastic, Zeb. That is great news. Let's get that way and let's do that thing. I'm going to head up someplace where the breakers aren't likely to blow in my face this time. I'm going to kind of get off the floor and Asana just hands me a couple of pain pills. I take them, dry swallow them, don't get them down most of the way, and I spend the rest of the way walking up to the bridge, like, like trying to do that. Undertake an expedition. Last one. We're still gonna go with wits and see what we get. Frickin' we get and because my momentum is down 1, I can't flip it to a strong hit because the challenge dice are a 9 and a 4, and my momentum's at a 9. So I still can't do anything with this massive surplus of momentum that I have going on here. So undertake. Okay, so again with a weak hit. The weak hit is either you get where you envision the location, mark progress, but the progress costs you, suffer cost en route, or face peril at the waypoint. Envision what you encounter. Face peril at the waypoint. Right. Isolation or fear presses in. Here's what I'm going to do with this one, and this may seem like a little bit of a soft response, but honestly, if I was GMing this for a group of people, this series of you don't want to demoralize people from having a good time. So kind of my instinct, if I were running this, would be to kind of take this in a way. I'm still mechanically doing the same thing, which I'm throwing a challenge here that needs to be overcome, but it's going to be a little bit different. So as we're in transit for that last jump, which I will mark progress on here in a second, I start to play the odds on what's going on back in the system of, I keep saying Glimmer, but it's really the system of Glimmer and Last Hope, right? So we're, like the main thing here. So we've come down here, let's spin this guy around, and pulled up at Glimmer Last Hope. I really need to get a different, what's the name of the system? Glimmer, planet is Verus. I'm just going to say, we're going to change this guy here. I'm going to call this Glimmer of Hope system, and then say Glimmer and Last Hope are 2 planets, 2 stations here. Meridian isn't really that far away. They were on our tail before, and my paranoia, my worry, I'm going to say my completely legitimate concerns about coming back to Glimmer when we've potentially pissed off the criminal element in the system, where we potentially got Meridian gunning for us. Don't know exactly what's going on. I mean, I trust Paladin. I absolutely trust Paladin, but everything else going on, I'm just concerned about it. So rather than just coming in to Glimmer, I'm going full on like stealth mode, trying to sneak in here as much as possible to come in for the last little thing here. And actually, what I'm doing with this is I'm completely unnecessarily, or possibly unnecessarily, doing additional rolls just to get down to the ship, just to get down to Glimmer, out of the sense of paranoia. I don't need to do this, except I feel like I need to do this because I'm getting, concerned and hyper about this kind of stuff. So I think a couple of different ways to do this. I could do like a face danger with Shadow, but I think what I'm going to do instead is explore the waypoint that I'm arrived at, because I'm like, we're gonna come in quiet, and we're gonna stealth up. We're gonna like go silent, and we're gonna scan system. We're looking for any. Zeb, I want you to look for any ships with Meridian Station markers. I want to look for any patrols that may be up here because of the this is the thing with Glimmer. Visible Kimura Shim. I want anything that may be having to do with Kimura Shim. They're working with Meridian somehow. Just scan, look for anything weird, anything at all that's weird. Last Hope has a orbital precursor vault. That's super. And Glimmer has a precursor vault on planet side. So there's some weirdness in the area, but just being aware of that, let's just scan for anything that looks weird or anomalous or any of that kind of stuff. So I am going to roll wits for this. Sorry, I don't have any modifiers. I'm just rolling wits and just taking but basically taking the Explorer waypoint thing rather than just doing Face Danger, because Face Danger is kind of generic. And this is what I'm doing. I'm trying to find out stuff about where I'm coming in. Did I get a roll? No, did not. There we go. All right. Explorer waypoint gets me another mixed success. This time I can actually do something about it. My action score was a 3. The challenges were a 1 and a 3. So I can burn momentum to get a strong hit. What does it say for Explorer waypoint? On a strong hit, strong hit, choose one. Find an opportunity. Envision a favorable insight, situation, resource, or encounter, and get +2 momentum. Or gain progress, mark progress on your expedition per its rank. Or on a weak hit, which is what I have naturally right now, you uncover something interesting, but it's bound up in a peril or reveals an ominous aspect of this place. Envision what you encounter, then take +1 momentum. All right, so I'm going to do that. I'm taking the weak hit. I want to find something interesting, but it's bound up in a peril or reveals an ominous aspect of the place. All right, so let's go back to oracles. I'm looking for a couple different things here to see. Locked resource. Got that twice. All right. All right. So the thing that came up a couple times in the oracle here is blocked resource. So what we have here going on is there appear to be several warships, several battleships in formation at the staging in geosynchronous orbit over the main Glimmer settlements. So they're in space. Yeah. Are we dealing with some kind of blockade, Earl or Zeb? That seems likely. Well, that's not great. What are the odds we're going to be able to get down without them seeing us? Well, it will be difficult, but I believe it may be possible if we come in on the far side and do most of our approach through the atmosphere. They may be able to detect that we are approaching one of the settlements, but they won't be able to do much once we're that far away through interference and atmosphere, especially on Glimmer. All right, well, I suppose we'll worry about getting off later. Can we shut down our transponder? I don't really need them knowing that we're gonna be doing this. Well, I can try to. That would be appreciated. So again, I'm gonna look back here. I'll check this. All right, so we're gonna go back to progress. No, we're gonna go back to moves. And we are going to do a shadowy face danger, because we are going to try to come in here with deception, stealth, or trickery. We're going to try and roll shadow to come in below and around and away from these guys so that we can come in and get down to the thing, but dealing with these Meridian folks. I have a thing to do with this if it doesn't really work. So we're going to try this. Ooh. Again, a weak hit. Succeed, but at a troublesome cost. Make a suffer move. I really don't want to do that. Burn momentum. All right. So, geez, this has been like a whole session of just mixed successes where I'm not sure if I really want to burn the stuff for the strong hit. You succeed, but at a troublesome cost. Make a suffer move. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take I'm going to endure stress from this thing because we're trying to come in here, and basically it's like, DOS boot where we're trying to come in super stealthy and they don't see us. And I'm just going to, when it's done, I'm literally soaked in sweat. Like I'm sweating through my shirt. I drop down into one of the chairs on the bridge and I'm just like, kind of thing as we're coming in through the atmosphere. We're trying to use whatever like meteorological storm patterns and that kind of thing we can use to come in, staying close to the ground, nape of the earth type flying, which is not particularly restful when you have a ship that's actually the size of a fucking 3-story building tipped on its side, and you're trying to fly that a couple feet off the ground. And I take this thing. So I'm gonna roll my spirit here and see if I can get. Hey, I finally got a strong hit. All right, so I'm going to endure stress. On a strong hit, I'm going to shake it off, and although I managed to actually get down. Once I'm down, and once I realize that I'm okay, the shakes kind of go away, and I resolve stuff. So let's wrap up a couple of things here because I did. I kind of already did this, but we're gonna conclude this one real quick. Hey, it's a strong hit. Get back to Glimmer from JVC. I should have probably rolled that already. Whoops. That would have been awkward if I had to fix that. But in any case, all right. So I get back to Glimmer from JVC. So if I did that as let's go back to the moves real quick. So that was where's my exploration stuff? So exploration moves. We are finishing an expedition on a strong hit. You reach your destination or complete your journey. Mark a reward on your Discovery's legacy track. 1 tick. So legacies, Discovery, mark. Cool. All right, I'm actually getting pretty close on that one. Gonna get some more XP. Mark a thing on your Discovery track. Any allies who share this expedition also mark the reward. So that's finishing the expedition. We got back there, and I can get rid of that one. And under my vows, we just landed, so I get to mark another one for getting Asana back home. And I'm gonna try and fulfill this. Hopefully, this is where she needs to go. I almost don't want to look. Whoo! Ooh! Fucking sweet! All right. So I got a strong hit with a match on fulfilling my... Ooh, that's exciting. Let's go back here to the moves. So, quest moves. Fulfill your vow. When you reach the end of your quest, roll a challenge dice. Strong hit, your vow is fulfilled. Mark a reward on your quest legacy track per rank. I think it was just troublesome. What was my vow? Yeah, it was troublesome. Okay, cool. And I also get an opportunity. Okay, so let's just rack things up here real quick. So, going back to my legacies track, I get to mark, nope, that's not right. Did the wrong, I marked the wrong track. Get to mark a quest, which also puts me within one of getting XP there. Sweet. And I get to mark that I completed a quest for Asana, which is cool. And I am going to conclude this because I'm maxed out. So I conclude the quest for her, and that gives me a strong hit. Despite the challenge dice trying to screw me with an 8 and a 9, my progress was a 10, so screw you. And that is we all breathe a big sigh of relief when we get down to planet side, and Asana, nice job, old man. Old man. That is hurtful. All right, so we're going to take connection moves. Forge a bond. When your relationship with connection is ready to evolve, roll the challenge dice. On a strong hit, you now share a bond. Mark a reward in your bonds legacy track per the connection's rank. She is dangerous, so I get to mark 2 ticks on my connections legacy, my bonds legacy. Okay, so 2 ticks on legacies. So tick tick. Ooh, so that means I get 2 XP for completing my first box of my bonds legacy track, which is cool. It gets me up to an 8, and I've spent 5, so it gives me like 3 more to mess with. Cool. Or 3 to mess with. Nice. But more to the point, you can either bolster their influence when they aid you on a move closely associated with your roll, add +2 instead of +1, or I can expand their influence, give them a second roll when they aid you on a move closely associated with either roll, add +1, or +1 momentum on a hit, add +1 and take +1. So do I want her to be really good at being a thief, or do I want her to be more broadly whatever? She is a character roll. Let's see what else we would get. Thief, diplomat? Nah. Maybe though. No, I like her. Is there a spy on here? There's not a spy, and I feel like that would have been the really perfect thing for her to be. Doesn't seem like that's something that you can even really roll. Assassin, yes, but not spy. What? Maybe agent's what that meant to be, and I already have that with Paladin. So you know what? I'm just going to make her a really good thief. That's cool. So we go back to connections. She is a +1, +2 on thief. Clear, because I got a bond with this guy already. Asana also becomes a contact for me, which is awesome. Mark something in bond, not just a connection. All right, great, cool. All right, so that is awesome, but I still have the strong hit with a match, which gives me some kind of opportunity. Okay, sensors pinpoint a lurking foe. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do with this. Opportunities are weird sometimes. Okay, so when we get down and we kind of let out our collective sigh, Asana kind of goes, and she's been working at a terminal this whole time, and she's like, and got it. And I'm like, got what? Well, if you use these codes when you head off planet, Meridian Station is going to the Meridian ships are going to ignore you, or they should ignore you, because you're going to read as benign. You're going to read as already approved. They'll recognize you, but they won't recognize you, and they'll think that you're, if not friendly, harmless. That should help you get out of here. So I'm just going to make a note that when I head out of the system, I'm going to have like a +1 to my first roll to get out of here or if Meridian comes up in the complications and stuff while I'm on planet here, I got to get a +1 against them because Asana's basically made me ready for them and made me, give me an extra little boost here. So she stole me a little bonus here. Thank you. That's going to be helpful. Zeb, can you keep track of that? I have already registered the ID, and I'm prepared to use it whenever we encounter the Meridian ships. Yeah, but it's just going to be, this is one use only. After that, it'll probably cause you more trouble than it'll fix. All right, that's fine. Well, are you good here? Well, you're going to come off, aren't you? Yeah, of course. Let's go find Paladin. Honestly, I need to restock the ship. Zeb, you going to be all right here? I am already recharging, Earl. Will you be coming back and staying on the ship during your rest periods? He seems really tense about this question, so I'm going to be like, yeah, Earl. Yeah, Zeb, no problem. No problem at all. That sounds like a good idea, honestly. A little bit more secure. I would agree, Earl. Thank you. So with that, we're going to land here on Glimmer. We're going to head out to Paladin next. Made some good progress on some vows. Got Asana back home. modify this one and take this off. Got Asana back home, and we need to. Honestly, I really need to resupply. So we're gonna try and do a repair thing. We're gonna try and maybe sojourn here because I've got some friends who can help. Hopefully give me a boost there with regards to that stuff. So I'm gonna, yeah, we're gonna see if we can get a couple of bonuses here, get a sojourn going, resupply the ship, repair of the ship, this thing gains going. That's gonna be next time when we get back on here and see what's going on. All of which happening while angry party boys fly in orbit from Meridian Station overhead. So super. All right, guys. Thanks very much for hanging out with me. Really appreciate it. I love having everybody along, and the feedback has been great. The comments have been great. I'm enjoying the hell out of this game, so I hope you guys are too. All right. Thanks very much, and I'll talk to you next time.